Why should Christians study philosophy? Well, I think there's many reasons why Christians should study philosophy. And one of the reasons is because it falls into the definition of philosophy itself. So the definition of philosophy is the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. So the fundamental nature of knowledge, the reality, and existence. So the reason why I think Christians should study philosophy is because when it comes to studying the knowledge, the reality, and existence, that is everything that we see around us each and every day. You know, our thoughts on the trees, the birds, the grass, ourselves, many different things like that is what philosophy even is. Your take on these things, or I guess like your worldview, it will kind of fall into that category. And so what role should philosophy play in our life as a believer? Well, I think philosophy plays a big role in our life as a believer, whether we can see it that way or not, or whether we thought it did or not. But it plays a big role in our day to day when it comes to existence. You know what we think about our existence, it falls right into the line of philosophy because it's as it said in the book Prelude to Philosophy by Mark Foreman. It says the point of philosophy is to start with something so simple as to seem not worth stating, and to end with something so paradoxical that no one will believe it. So that's kind of like how I see it when it comes to belief in our existence, belief in God and things like that. It can start off so small, but it can take us to a point where where people be like, I don't even know if that's true. I don't even know if I believe in it. You know, that's where philosophy can take us, and that's how it plays a role in our life as a believer, right? And how can it support or challenge our faith? Well, it supports the faith because it continuously make us see the existence of all things around us, as I said in the definition. And it can challenge the faith because a lot of times with philosophy, it's not really something that you can, from the way I see it, it's not something that you can really put your finger on and pin it down to this definite thing. Because another person may have a different type of philosophy on the same thing that I got. We can have philosophy on a tree, but their philosophy on that tree is different from mine. And I think that's where it can be a challenge because it won't be seen in the same light by the both of us, even if we're using philosophy, because our philosophies can be different. Um, Also, in I looked up the article I was reading called "Advice to Christian Philosophers" by Alvin Plantings, and what he said was there is within the human mind, and indeed by natural instinct and awareness of divinity. This we take to this we take to beyond controversy to prevent anyone from taking refuge in the pretense of ignorance. God Himself has implanted in all men a certain understanding of His divine uh, majesty. So I think all human beings are somewhat have a philosophy on how they see uh, their life, how they see Christianity, how they see everything, regardless if they're Christian or not. But their life itself, there's something that's already embedded in us by God, regardless if they're a believer, is already embedded there. And as I just stated, it's an awareness of divinity. I think we're all aware of that. So that's my take on today's discussion board, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, or morning.